हम में से कितने लोगों ने अपना निकाहनामा पढ़ा होगा? जो प्रिविलेज्ड हैं, जो एलीट क्लास के हैं, जो पढ़े लिखे लोग हैं, हमारी तवज्जो कहीं और होती है। प्रॉपर्टी बाय सेल करने के टाइम पे तो बड़ी लिखत पढ़त हो रही होती है ना, बट शादी के टाइम पे नहीं होती। तो वो निकाहनामे की अहमियत इतनी ज़्यादा है कि उसके कॉलम्स के अंदर कुछ ऐसी कंडीशंस आप डाल सकते हैं जिससे अ वुमन विल नॉट बी वर्स ऑफ। पाकिस्तान में मैट्रिमोनियल प्रॉपर्टी राइट ख़वातीन का नहीं है। तो अगर ये सारी चीज़ें जो हैं वो हम बच्चियों को शुरू से बताएं, नेक्स्ट जनरेशन, so a lot of these problems I see can be tackled very effectively and can be prevented from escalating into disputes which are consuming our people and our courts today. So Legal Aid Society का बुनियादी बयानिया और मकसद यही है to bridge the chronic justice gap. लोगों और स्टेट के बीच में, जो रियासत के बीच में जो गैप है उसको कम करें ताकि इंसाफ तक लोग पहुंच चुके हैं। हमारा ये भी मानना है कि इंसाफ खुद चल के आपके दरवाजे तक नहीं आएगा, आपका दरवाज़ा नहीं खटखटाएगा। इंसाफ पाने के लिए कुछ बुनियादी चीज़ें हैं जिनको फिक्स करने की बड़ी ज़रूरत है, दोनों तरफ जिम्मेदारियाँ आती हैं। फिर दूसरी चीज़ ये है, इज़ इट इनफ टू जस्ट नो व्हाट योर राइट्स आर? You've got to help people after knowing the law. How do you use the law? तो यूज़ द लॉ के अंदर हमारा अमला आता है। वी आर इन एसेंस अ लीगल एड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। बाहर के मुल्कों में पब्लिकली फंडेड ये होती है, यहाँ ये एक मिक्स्ड ब्लेंडेड फाइनेंस है। हमारी थोड़ी बहुत हुकूमत मदद कर रही है, ज़्यादातर प्राइवेटली वी आर फंडेड। सो उसके साथ हम ये करते हैं कि हमारे वकील हैं जो कोर्टों में जाके आपका केस लड़ते हैं आपके लिए। उसके साथ साथ हमारे कम्युनिटी में 700 से ज़्यादा पैरालीगल्स हैं जो वॉलंटियर्स हैं, कम्युनिटी चैम्पियंस हैं, जो आपके साथ नादरा के दफ्तर जाएंगे, आपके साथ सूबाई मोतसब आला के दफ्तर जाएंगे, कचेरी भी जाएंगे आपके साथ, आपको एप्लीकेशंस में मदद करेंगे। एंड they'll really hold your hand so that there is unconditional support. Have represented over 2,800 women and children, and the kinds of cases, it's a wide range. They come from child sexual abuse, child marriages to child abductions. Our youngest client has been a child who is only 2 years old, but then we also represent the elderly. But out of the 2,800 cases, we have been successful in over 84%. And that's a great stat to throw out there. 84% of the time we win the case. And for us, winning a case is not limited to saying we won today in court or we got a court order. For us, winning means understanding if the power dynamic shifted. So power comes from a bunch of things. It comes from the redistribution of your voice, your representation, the redistribution of actual power and resources as well for women. So quite often in all of these cases, the power dynamics then change. And that's kind of how we look and enjoy each of our wins. Yeah. At the beginning of this year, we were hit pretty hard by the exodus of foreign funding. I think that we realized that we were very stagnant in over-reliance on institutional funding from outside of Pakistan. 80% of our budget was suspended in February because it wasn't just one source, it was a cascading effect. One government decides to pull back foreign aid, a number of European countries followed. The British government has also reduced its overseas development assistance, and they've been doing this recurringly. So there seems to be this shift now, a very inward kind of an approach after the downfall of USAID, which is like these developed countries, are not sort of coming forward to do their bit. When we talk about climate reparation for the global south, I think that, that the same arguments apply over here as well. But, we've got to pivot, we've got to create those alternatives. We are receiving support from the provincial government. But in addition to this, where we are now trying to cultivate relationships is with individual givers. And I talk about the diaspora here, the diaspora in the US, in the UK and Canada, that still have bonds to Pakistan and are heavily contributing towards development in so many ways. And then perhaps what is more new is reaching out to the corporate sector, the private sector, and trying to tell them that they have to expand the folds of their CSR priorities. We need to see new causes coming in, like climate resilience, climate change. That has to have a space, and now perhaps does. But we're asking them to look at justice as a cross-cutting need that cuts across the education sector, the healthcare sector, the livelihood sector. And so we're asking them to layer this onto their existing buckets of giving. पहली बात तो ये है कि हमने एक बहुत ही इनोवेटिव चीज़ या नई चीज़ की कि जब ये फंडिंग कट्स हम पे लागू हुए तो हमने सबसे पहले हमारी शरिया सर्टिफिकेशन या ज़कात याफ्ता होने की सर्टिफिकेशन फ्रॉम द राइट एडवाइजरी सर्विस ली. And we invited all these religious scholars and to come to see the work, to audit it. And that certification, I think, is perhaps the first time that from a zakat perspective, it's being said out loud and clear that your zakat can be diverted towards this cause of legal representation of the poor. लोगों ने सबने सुना हुआ है कि रिहाई का बड़ा अजर है, रिहाई में zakat दें. रिहाई यानी प्रिजनर को की फाइन भरना. बट फाइन की तो नौबत केस लड़ने के बाद आती है ना. केस लड़ने का खर्चा भी आ सकता है. ये सबसे पहली दफा हमने एस्टैब्लिश की है बात. I started volunteering in the Karachi Women Prison in my early 20s, and the stories of the very aged women that had spent a lifetime in prison didn't hit me as much as the story of the younger ones that I could resonate with, because I had this guilt. I'm going home. I'm continuing with studies abroad. I'm eating fancy food in a restaurant. I have so much, and I have freedom and liberty, right? And all these women that I saw that were very young, they were sentenced to long terms imprisonment, some life imprisonment without any hope. But the way they would meet me with kindness and their smiles, I don't think anyone has been that generous with me in the outside world. So their kindness, their unconditional, non-transactional kindness also played a part in making me think that I don't want to do this as a side gig. I want to do this with my all. And these women had lost everything. Their families cut off from them. एक honor का मामला बन जाता है ना, कि बुरा नाम पूरे खानदान का हो गया, जेल औरत चली गई, खराब हो गई, कोर्ट कचहरी जा रही है, पुलिस गाड़ियों में आगे पीछे हो रही है. They lose their children, their husbands, sometimes they're imprisoned. तो वो अगर फैमिली पैसे जोड़ लेती है तो वो आदमी को रिहा कराती है, औरत का तो छोड़ दो, दूसरी शादी कर लेता है, बच्चे छूट जाते हैं. They lose everything and they have so much hope. But why are they losing everything? They lose everything simply because they don't have the resources to engage someone to effectively be their voice in our colonial system. And so, those things have really stayed with me. And why I do this is extremely selfish. It's extremely selfish. I do this so that I can reconcile this privilege of my birth. I can, reconcile this privilege and the resources, the tools, the opportunities I have. And of course, there is a real high in being a part of something that is much bigger than your own life, your own personal life, right? Both my maternal and paternal grandfathers were judges of the higher courts. My maternal grandfather was the Chief Justice of the Sindh High Court and then was elevated to the Supreme Court. And he stepped down and he had to accept early retirement because he refused to take the oath at the time of General Pervez Musharraf. So my grandfather had many more years to give back to the system. But, without a real plan, he just came back to Sindh, where he hailed from, and he started volunteering in the Karachi Women's Prison. My grandmother, his wife, late Dr. Farad Zahid, was a medical practitioner. So she would go and tend to the ailments of the prisoners. उनकी मरहम पट्टी करती थी जो गरीब कैदी थे. And my grandfather would sit there और उनकी कहानियाँ सुनते थे और फ़ोन उठा के young lawyers को फ़ोन करते थे जो अदब और respect के तहत आ जाते थे, leaving their offices and their comfort and the courts, and they'd come to the prisons to listen to these women. So he became a connector of free legal aid to these women who had no resources. During that association, a lot of philanthropists, individuals, donors would come to us, or civil society representatives, and they would keep asking us, you're doing such great stuff for the poor, the marginalized behind bars and barracks. कम्युनिटी में इतनी बुराई है, इतनी नीड है, आप लोगों के लिए बाहर भी तो कुछ करें। हमारी अक़लियतें हैं, बुजुर्ग लोग हैं, सीनियर सिटीजन्स के राइट्स हैं, there is disabled, there are women and children that are suffering grotesque forms of sexual and gender-based violence. Child sexual abuse कितना माशरे में बढ़ा है, कोविड के बाद, कोविड से पहले, सैलाब के बाद, you know. So people kept telling us to expand, and I think we used that experience. The prisons are a contained environment. They're actually very ideal for a controlled environment to pilot innovative things and to see how you can disrupt the system. So we extrapolated, we used that, and then we set the foundations of this not-for-profit, this national local NGO, the Legal Aid Society, with my grandfather spearheading this, and with like-minded folks that came on board and joined us. And we built it from the ground up, from scratch. And that started in 2004. And mashallah, it spread to 22 of 24 prisons. So he created Pakistan's first structured, institutional, government-funded, government-supported legal aid program for deserving prisoners implicated with minor offenses. And I think it worked, and it has yielded those results primarily because from day one, the mission has been non-negotiable and crystal clear. And वो बड़ी मतलब सिंपल बुनियाद थी, और एक व्यू हमारा था कि access to justice should not be a privilege for the few, it should be a right accessible to all. And with that clarity, we kind of self-taught ourselves. We made lots of mistakes on the way, but how did we learn how to do this systematically, to scale it? Until January, we were in 5 districts in Gilgit-Baltistan, 3 in southern Punjab, obviously in the capital in Islamabad, and in 8 districts in Sindh. Post-February of this year, we have had to close all those operations outside of Sindh, and we are currently operating, providing in-person services and assistance in 7 districts in Sindh. This includes Sangar, Dadu, Larkana, Sakhar, Hyderabad, Shaheed Benazirabad, and Karachi. मेरी गुजारिश लोगों से यही है कि हमें अपना रवैया, अपना नज़रिया बदलना पड़ेगा। हम में से बहुत सारे लोग हैं जिनके पास बहुत सारे वसाइल हैं, प्रिविलेज है, हम एक सर्टन तबके से ताल्लुक़ रखते हैं, और हमें ज़कात और डोनेशन देने में कोई मसला नहीं आता। लेकिन मैं जो बात करना चाहती हूँ वो इससे थोड़ी और गहराई में अगर आप सोचें, असल इशू ये है कि हम लॉन्ग टर्म लोगों को बाइख्तियार करें ताकि फिर वो किसी के ऊपर डिपेंड ना करें। और लॉन्ग टर्म बाइख्तियारी जो है वो तभी आएगी जब आप अपने घरों में जो लोग आपके यहाँ काम कर रहे हैं, आपके मोहल्लों में जो लोग हैं, आपके दफ्तरों में जो आपका स्टाफ है, वो कानूनी तौर पर बाइख्तियार हों, उनके अंदर एक शऊर पैदा हो जिससे के साथ वो रियलाइज़ कर सकें कि ये मेरे बुनियादी इंसानी हकूक़ हैं, ये नॉन नेगोशिएबल हैं। तो जब वो शऊर आएगा, और वो शऊर किस तरह आता है, वो तब आता है जब आपको कानूनी रहनुमाई मिलती है, कानूनी आगाही मिलती है, और आपको कुछ केसेस के अंदर लीगल रिप्रेजेंटेशन मिलती है। शऊर आने के बाद आप अपने हक में, अपने मफाद के लिए, अपने केस के लिए आप खुद आवाज़ उठाएंगे, बिकॉज यू विल नो बेटर. And so that is the thought process behind legal aid. Legal aid is a means to legal empowerment of the people so that people can come forward and realize their true potential and live a life with dignity, so that no child is silenced when they face sexual abuse, so that no woman feels like she's voiceless when she's being abused in her home by her husband. She knows what her rights are, she knows the process will work for her, and so the system works for any and everyone who feels hopeless and vulnerable and marginalized. And justice outcomes are realizable, they are tangible. ये कोई जिद्दोजहद कई सालों की नहीं होती। हमारे कोर्ट्स में निज़ाम चल रहा है, कायम है, अच्छे वकील हैं हमारे साथ जो काम कर रहे हैं, और एक केस अगर मैं कहूँ कि कितना अरसा लग सकता है, कितना खर्चा लगेगा, क्या फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट होगी, तो ऑन एवरेज 80,000 रुपए के अंदर सारे खर्चे जो हैं वो शामिल हो जाते हैं।